Have you thought about having therapy for your binge eating or overeating? Have you wondered, well, what is it all about and is it for me? Well, in this video, I'm going to talk exactly how therapy can help you and what it is all about and what to expect. So hi, I'm Vanessa McLennan and I help people with their binge eating and overeating to help them have a life free from food stress. So if you would like to know more about if therapy is for you and if it can help you, keep watching. So for many people who binge eat and overeat, there comes a lot of feelings with that of shame and embarrassment for not being able to perhaps lose weight, or just for continual overeating, or just for having these patterns of behaviours for a long time, and just for the way perhaps society judges us, and lots of other reasons. And it goes to show that we don't do it out of choice. There are many reasons why we eat the way that we do. So, very well-meaning people and, companies could say, well, just eat, your scrambled eggs or your porridge for breakfast, your leaves for lunch and your salad leaves for dinner. And if it was that easy, we would all be doing that. So it's not that easy. A lot of the time, we eat because we want to hide patterns of emotions. Let's say we want to stop feelings from coming up, or we're just reacting to feelings coming up, and that food and that binge eating or overeating is known as a coping mechanism. Now, we're not doing this consciously. We're not sitting there going, oh, this is a feeling, excellent, this is what I'm going to do. Well, I'm going to eat 10 packets of biscuits, excellent. No, we don't want to be doing that. But knowing why it's there or what our behaviours are about can be really, really difficult to work out, what's behind it all, to help us unravel and to help us stop. And with that, there's a huge fear of, being judged alongside it if we go to open up to somebody. So this is where therapy can really, really help. Why would I go to therapy? Well, therapy can really help us take control of our lives and definitely control of the way that we eat. It's helping to heal the parts that are causing us the way that we eat. Over time, our relationship with food can become, distorted and then unhealthy. And our eating can sometimes, get from being good to not very good, good again, not very good, and it just all becomes, a twisted jumble mess. It also has a shelf life. The longer it goes on, it can get worse and worse. And there does come a point where we go, oh, just enough, this is taking over my life, I've had enough. And then this is perhaps why you would go to therapy, because you've perhaps been on countless amounts of diets, you've tried everything that you can think of, and nothing is working. So by going to therapy, you're really then looking at the parts, with lots of unravelling, the parts that are causing it, healing it, and then this is where the symptoms do stop, because you are taking control back of your life. What can I expect from therapy? Some people's expectations are, and especially if they're coming for hypnotherapy as well, is that they can perhaps, sit back and I say a few magic words and, it will give them all the willpower in the world, or give them exactly what they need to stop eating. If it was that easy and that straightforward, I would be a millionaire many times over. That's like putting a plaster on something that is just, it's just going to come off eventually. So therapy is like being presented with, a huge, great big jumbled up ball of wool, inside of us. And it's like then unravelling that ball of wool to get to a place where it's then really neatly, wound up, and where the start is, where the finish is, and you can manage every aspect of that ball of wool so that it feels in control, manageable and light and good. So the role of therapy is to explore your inner world. It's exploring what your thoughts are, your feelings, the emotions that come up for you, your patterns and your behaviours around your eating. So a lot of the time, when we eat, we're eating because there is an emotional reason. Now, that might seem straightforward on the surface, like boredom, frustration, sadness, happiness. We might know sort of the overlying reasons as to perhaps why we emotionally eat. But a lot of the time, there are lots of emotions running underneath us that are causing us to eat, the way that we do, but they're not always visible to us. We don't know why, and it can be very, very frustrating to find out why. And then this is the role of the therapist, is to help you work out what those reasons are, not just to give you answers, but actually to help you stop eating the way that you do. So a therapist's role is therefore by asking you questions and by, paraphrasing what it is that you're saying, by helping you observe all your patterns of behaviours, by helping you just see perhaps what you're doing and what you're not doing that's causing you to eat the way that you're doing. So the therapist is really there as a support, guiding you, providing the right space and the environment for you to feel totally safe to talk about your issues, so it feels good to talk about them, but also you're in a safe place where there's lots of empathy and understanding, and definitely free from judgment. So a therapist then can also help you, perhaps swap out some of your patterns for new, healthier patterns. They can help you make better choices about your eating and about the way that you eat. What a therapist won't tell you to do is they won't tell you what to eat and how to eat and when to eat. What they will do is help you find out all of that for yourself, so that you are coming from a place where you are authentic and making your own decisions, and eating is like intuitively eating what's right for your body without going off some sort of diet plan which perhaps has been set for hundreds and thousands of people. So it's helping you find you so that you are happy with you. So how effective is therapy? Well, therapy is a two-way street. It's a two-way relationship. It is not expecting the therapist to do all of the work and you can then sit there and go, well, no, it didn't work. Okay, you have to put in the work yourself. So the therapist's responsibility is to create the space for you to feel free to be able to talk, to create the empathy, compassion and understanding for you so that you feel supported, for you to be able to trust the therapist, that you can then start talking about whatever comes up for you and whatever is bothering you. And it's also the environment where they're helping you really uncover the causes of it. So it's asking some really sort of thoughtful, deeper questions about what is going on for you so that you can really start to understand yourself a lot better. However, it's also your responsibility when going to a therapist to be open to change, to be prepared to put the work in to change, to be prepared to go to some deeper places in your psyche and your emotions that might feel uncomfortable in the session, but knowing that with the therapist's help and that you trust the therapist, that you are going to work through it. It's also being prepared to keep going when the going gets tough, because there will be slipbacks, there will be times when you, let's just say, fall off the wagon, there will be times when you just feels like you're going backwards. But that is all sometimes part of the process, and it can be really easy then to just give up and go, this isn't working, when in fact it probably is working. It's just knowing that that's part of the process, but to keep going through those tough times. It's all the time knowing that we are working on the causes, we're getting to the roots of it. And sometimes these patterns of behaviour have been ingrained since childhood for a lot of people. So they've been like that and eating the way that we have for 10 years, 20 years. So it's not going to happen overnight, but if you keep going, it will be effective for you. How long will therapy take? the good old age question of, how long is that piece of string? I've had people change, their eating habits and issues from, under 8 weeks, and then I've had people where it's taken them at least a year to change. It all depends on what's there for you and how deeply ingrained these patterns of eatings have become, and just also how big of an issue it is for you. So it's really difficult to say from the outset, but I would just remember to perhaps think about where it is that you want to get to, so that you know an end point for you, or that you know that each session you are definitely getting something out of it and it has purpose for you, so you can see yourself moving forwards all the time. So if you would like any further details about binge eating or disordered eating or eating disorders, I will put some links in the comments below for you. Thank you.